Much more on KD in a moment, but the other huge news came from college football. USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten starting in 2024. The vote was unanimous when Big Ten presidents and chancellors met last night. And if you're thinking that sounds like a lot of travel from SoCal to the rest of the schools in the Big Ten, you get an A in geography, because take a look at this map tweeted out by our own Field Yates. You can envision the long trips that these student athletes will be taking, well, from one coast to the other, longer than it takes to get from New York to Iceland, if that puts it in perspective. Heather Dinich and Paul Finebaum join us now for more on this seismic shift. So, Heather, first, give us details on what happened and what it means for college football.
Hannah, these two schools reached out to the Big Ten, and it's about following the money. The reality is that the Big Ten and the SEC are separating themselves as the wealthiest and largest conferences in all of collegiate athletics. And every athletic director and university president is paying attention to this. The Big Ten is reportedly on the brink of $100 million per school per year TV deal. And everyone is watching that. And so UCLA and USC wanted to best position not just their football teams, but their Olympic programs as well for financial stability in the future. UCLA athletic director Martin Jarman texted me last night and said, "We cannot afford to stand still."
Not with those kind of dollars. Paul, what was your reaction when you heard this on the heels of what we've seen with SEC?
Yeah, Hannah, I'm just gratified that the leaders of college athletics care so much about the student athletes and their mental well-being, that they're going to put softball players on a plane in California to go to Piscataway for a weekend series with Rutgers. But that's where we are, and trying to take my cynical hat off, which is impossible today in college athletics. What we have is just a battle of the two behemoths, and that's the SEC in the Big Ten. This is similar to what's going on Wall Street between the biggest companies vying for your dollar. And that's what this is about. This is about money, pure and simple. Hannah, don't let any college commissioner or president tell you otherwise. They're a greedy bunch. That's what they care about. And the students who happen to play athletics are the pawn in this big prize.
It's hard to imagine that level of travel and how that squares with student life. It really is mind-boggling. And could we be headed to super conferences? That's certainly the way it looks. And listen to what Kirk Herbstreit had to say on SportsCenter. Then I want to get your reaction.
I think that's where this thing, when the dust settles, that's where we're going to be. And with about 50 to 55 teams, half of them in the Big Ten, half of them in the SEC. For simplifying it, think AFC, NFC, and the NFL. You're going to have that for Saturdays. You're going to have three divisions, West, Middle, and East, or South, and that's what it's going to be.
Paul, do you see it going this way?
I don't think it goes that big, Hannah, because I don't think that many schools can be sustainable in college athletics. Right now, it's really about 5 to 8 schools anyway, so not much is going to change. What's going to change, though, is that the Power Five is no more. We are the three conferences that are not part of this are going to get left behind. But there's one important element here that could tip the balance, Hannah, and that's the one school that everybody wants, the big whale that the conferences have been going after for as long as you were in school at Notre Dame and I've been watching college football, and that's the University of Notre Dame. Right now, for those who don't follow this like we do, they have an affiliation with the ACC. They're in the ACC in every sport but hockey and in football. In football, they play 5 conference games. The ACC is desperate now to convince Notre Dame once and for all to join the league. If they fail, the ACC will almost cease to exist. And then does Notre Dame stay independent, or does Notre Dame go to either the Big Ten or the SEC? I think everything is currently in play right now.
Right. And Heather, walk me through this. And as we know, Notre Dame also has its own television contract with NBC. So walk me through this scenario. Jack Swarbrick and those before him have been holding out, not affiliated with a conference on the football level. So what are the possibilities here?
So as long as Notre Dame's other sports that Paul mentioned continue to remain in the ACC, Notre Dame, if it ever wanted to join a conference, would be contractually obligated to join the ACC. But if Notre Dame were to withdraw from the ACC, its football team could play wherever it wants to. It would have to pay an exit fee. It would have to pay a media rights fee because they sold their TV rights to the ACC. I would be surprised if they were that concerned about paying the TV rights fee for their Olympic sports. But Jack Swarbrick told me this summer that there are 3 reasons why they would consider relinquishing their independence. One is the loss of a committed broadcast partner. One is the loss of a fair route to the postseason. And the third is such an adverse financial consequence that they would have to reconsider. The question is everybody else getting richer? Does that make them reconsider? You can bet they're paying attention to the Big Ten TV deal like everybody else.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.